Welcome to Twisted Die Roller, and as many of you know, my name is Charles, and this channel is here as a tabletop RPG channel with a mission. What's that mission? Well, first off, let me thank you guys for showing up, taking time out of your busy schedule, choosing this channel against all the other content that's out there. 99.9% of it definitely more worthy than this little channel here. However, this channel does have a message, and if you look down below in the panels, you'll learn all about us. But that message, the mission, is to raise awareness of cancer, of the importance of early detection and early screening, and mental health issues. And raising awareness of all of it through the use of tabletop games, primarily tabletop RPGs. Eventually we will have some board games and miniature games and stuff on that sort also on here. Sorry, a little tongue-tied. Been a warm day today. Been freezing to death up here, and all of a sudden it became spring. Anyways, as you can see, I've got this cool book, but let me get through a couple more things. Touching on the cancer thing, the reason for this decision to do this channel and make its mission raising awareness of cancer. If you look down on the doobly-doos, as Matt Colville calls it, or the panels below, you will see that my daughter Michaela, over the past year and 4 months, has been fighting cancer. As of December 23rd, 2021, however, she is in remission, which is awesome. But that drove me to come up with a way. Yes, screw cancer. Speaking of my daughter, there she is right there. It drove me to want to continue the fight for the rest of my life. It gave me a new calling, I guess. And I figured that one of the ways that maybe I could raise awareness of cancer, amongst some other things we have in the works, is to use one of my passions, something I've been doing since 1978. Yep, I'm going to be 53 this year. And that's tabletop RPGs. It's my number one hobby. It's my main passion. I love gaming in all forms, but RPGs for me is where it's at. So we decided to create this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy our content. It isn't a whole lot of talk about cancer except for on Sunday nights. Look at our schedule, you'll find out about that. Something else I want to talk about really quick. You're going to notice that Retrofix Games logo there. You will find out that that's one of our sponsors. It's a local game store here where I live in Montana. Fantastic people, knowledgeable people. You'll know down below in the panels in our sponsor section that there is indeed a link to their website. Go check it out. You can order online. They do ship. If they don't have what you're looking for, hey, give them a call. Tell them that Twisted Die Roller Charles sent you, and see if they can't help you out, which I'm pretty sure they will be able to help you out. We have got so much stuff coming up. Let me touch on a couple other things. One of the things is, if you listen very closely, once I kick it up, so there we go, you should be able to now hear that there's some audio coming through. That audio is provided by or powered by Sirenscape, because all epic games need epic sound. I'm not sponsored by Sirenscape. I just happen to use their stuff, and I give the shout out in order to do it. A couple other things you're going to notice is this amazing map that I've got down on my desk. I want to touch on that. A lot of our other overlays feature maps of this style. This map right here is Dyson Logos. Dyson Logos has allowed me the rights to go ahead and use some of his maps and stuff to make some of our overlay elements and things like that. Nothing on this overlay, but on all of our game related overlays, we do have Dyson's magnificent and amazing cartography on there. He's such a great guy to let us use his stuff. If you look down below in the gamer resources, you will find a link to Dyson's website. I highly recommend you go check it out. All of his maps that are on there pretty much can be used by anybody for non-commercial purposes or that sort of thing. But he's such a generous guy. So go give him a look and check him out. I want to touch on a couple other things really quick. I want to touch on some non-Pathfinder related stuff today, really briefly, really quick. First off, some games that are coming to the channel. I just picked up, as you can see right here, I just picked up the stuff for Cyberpunk Red. That will at some point in the future, at least in a one-shot format, not sure about a campaign, but in a one-shot format, we'll get some of that up. This one's kind of cool because this is from Paizos. I believe it was the beta stuff for a while. We never got around to playing Starfinder back then. This is well before Pathfinder 2nd Edition came out. But I went out today and I picked up the core rulebook and the GM screen to flip through. I may be doing a flip through and a review of this product sometime in the future, maybe even a giveaway involving some of it. And I would really like to give it a run, see how it rolls for us. A couple other quick things. If you haven't heard, tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. we are giving away a Pathfinder 2nd Edition complete Druid Chronicles, which is made by Beetle and Grimm's. We are giving away one of those tomorrow night during our Pathfinder 2E campaign for the road, which starts tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. at Mountain Standard Time. All you have to be to get any of our giveaways is simply a follower here on the channel. That's it, and be present. Once you've got those things done, then we will from time to time limit where we can ship to and stuff like that. But right now we're not too worried about that. So touching on that Beetle and Grimm's thing, our sponsor there, Retrofix, is stepping forward. The next Beetle and Grimm's that we're going to be giving away is going to be the Cleric book. Amazing books. I did a review and a flip through last night. Go ahead and give that a look if you get a chance or if you so wish to. We're going to give away all 5 of those books over the next month or so, as well as giving away some amazing Pathfinder products. I'm not sponsored or affiliated. I didn't get these products from these companies. I actually have both sponsors. I have sponsors that have stepped forward, and I've got some wonderful people that believe in the message that we're trying to get out here at Twisted Die Roller, that have stepped forward and have pretty much made it to where over the next 2 years I will be able to do giveaways. Those giveaways are there basically to thank you guys for coming and supporting the channel and for helping us get the message out, the awareness of cancer. We don't have anything else to talk about because this isn't an actual campaign night. I would like to say one thing though, as far as the importance of early detection and early screening. If you, a loved one, a friend, a family member, somebody you care about, somebody you know, it could just be an associate, somebody that maybe drives the city bus that you take every once in a while. If you know that they've been suffering or you yourself have been suffering from an ailment, no matter how minor it is, a cough, an itch, a stuffy nose, an ache, a pain, a soreness, a rash, whatever it may be, you've been suffering with it or dealing with it for more than a couple weeks or a few weeks, do me a favor. Go get checked out by the doctor. I know the doctors aren't cheap, nor is medication, but trust me, the other alternative may be a lot worse. Many forms of cancer, well, all forms of cancer, one of the best benefits to you beating it is that early detection. They catch it fast enough. Many forms of cancer out there are hyper aggressive, things like prostate cancer and colon cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, things like that. A lot of times the only way you will be able to beat some of these is if they catch it early enough. So if you've been suffering from something, somebody you know has been, urge them to go to the doctor or take yourself to the doctor. Please be healthy. It's such a small thing to do. Just go see a doctor just to make sure, and it gives you peace of mind. I don't think I have anything else to talk about other than the fact that I am going to be doing a flip through tonight of Absalom, City of Lost Omens from Paizo. As you can see, this is my personal copy. This guy is all tabbed up for our current campaign, which is taking place in the Inner Sea in Galarian, and that party is maybe 3 or 4 sessions away from going to Absalom itself. So I decided to pull this one out. I would like to point out that this coming Wednesday here on our new show, The Wizard Study, I will also be doing a flip through of the Lost Omens Grand Bazaar. And on Wednesday, I will be giving away, on Wednesday, a copy of the book that I am doing the flip through and review of today. I'll be giving away a copy, brand spanking new. We just went out and got it today. Again, I'm not sponsored by Paizo or anything like that. I just liked some of their product, and that's the game I play. So I figured that, hey, why not? Let's give away some of their stuff. But hey, if Paizo, if you're out there, hook a brother up. Anyways, we'll be giving this away on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. That stream will be starting at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So stop in and check it out. And that day, we will most definitely be reviewing this book. The cool thing about this book is that, let me see if I can find it, I already own a copy of the Grand Bazaar. So how about that? So that can only mean one thing. If I already own a copy, I obviously don't need 2 copies. So tune in this Wednesday to find out if and when it is that I'll be giving away this copy right here, the Grand Bazaar. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So with that out of the way, let's get to looking at this book here. As you can tell, I've actually already thumbed through it. Tonight's stream's only going to be about 2 hours. I got some other things I got to get done, but I wanted to get this done tonight because I think it's a worthwhile product, and I want to get it out there and let's take a look at it. So first thing I want to say is, as with every Paizo book that I have gotten so far, the binding is outstanding. It is strong. I have dropped this book. I have I'm not very kind to it in a lot of ways. I've been rushing and stuff, so it's gotten beat up a little bit. Amazingly resilient binding is absolutely fantastic. The book comes in at about 397 pages, 398 I believe it is, and then it does have the stuck-on map in the back of the of Absalom. Right there. If you're unaware of it, there is also a map pack out for the City of Lost Omens. The poster map folio right there. I actually have that as well. That is 4 poster maps that you can fit together, and they are the art design, the graphic, everything about them is absolutely amazing. So those are also out there in the world if you want to pick those up at some point in time. Who knows, maybe we'll do a giveaway on those. We do quite a few giveaways here. It might feel like a gimmick, but trust me, it's not a gimmick. It's our way of just saying thank you and helping us raise awareness. Like the way I was talking about with the Druid book, if I give one of these away and somebody remembers the fact that the channel they got it, and it strikes up a conversation, and somebody comes and sees this channel, sees the message about early detection, they've been fighting a cough or something like that, they go in and they get caught early and they beat it and they survive, then this channel is a complete and utter success. So let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy, the blue in papers, and all that. This is what you would come to expect from a Paizo second edition product. The artwork is superb, top notch. The layout, I know a lot of people, when the core rulebook first came out, a lot of people, including myself, were kind of annoyed with the layout. It seemed rushed. The editing wasn't what a lot of us thought it should be. But that book was massive and a ton of work, and I'm sure that they were probably under a crunch to get it out on time. It's still a fabulous book and an amazing game system. This book has a lot of the same features. You'll notice that they use the same basic layout style, the page edging and all that. The page quality itself, the paper quality, it's good. It's what you'd come to expect from a tabletop RPG book. It'll last you. The stitching is the binding is stitched in. If I can get to a spot where I can actually expose that a little bit, I will. Matter of fact, it's right there. You can see it a little bit. Again, that's not because the book is falling apart. That's because I've actually dropped this book a couple times. The table of contents is well laid out and touches on everything that you would expect to be in the book. I like the coloring. I like the color choice that they went with. It seems I don't like a lot of black. I like softer, muted colors, and this tealish color that they did is pretty amazing. One of the complaints that I've heard some people voice about this book is that there's not enough crunch. Another book that I'm going to be doing a flip through and review of is the Moengi Expanse book, which Paizo. Wow, these two books. You guys have hit it out of the park. I guess that's the review part of it. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back, Yeah, I'm not going to be bashing on them. There are some things that I might point out at them, but listen, I'm a Paizo fan. I love Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder First Edition. I love Pathfinder Second Edition. So I guess in that way, I'm biased, but I'm not a fanboy. Anybody who knows me knows I will call out anything, that even if I love it. Great book. A lot of people were complaining about the lack of crunch, just like they were complaining about the lack of crunch in the Moengi Expanse book. These are setting books. Setting books should focus primarily on flavor. Both of those books, this book as well, they do give you some mechanical things and some items and stuff like that. But no, they aren't going to give you mountains of crunch. They're not a rule book. They're a setting book. And if you approach it with that idea, I don't think you can be anything but satisfied or happy with it. And something else I want to touch on, a lot of people out there don't buy a lot of the setting books and stuff like that, like something like Absalom, City of Lost Omens, because they don't play in Golarion. I'm going to let you in on something really quick. It doesn't matter if you play in Golarion. You can buy any of these books, any of the Lost Omens books, and take them home and peel and mine them for things for your game. I actually was running a homebrew before we switched over to Golarion, back over to Golarion, where I actually was going to use this book right here as one of my major port cities in my world, which was Pendelhaven, and we were just saying that older people, older generations referred to Pendelhaven as Old Absalom. So you can use these products and mine them for ideas. The writing is great. You can full wholly, like I was gonna do, just turn it into a city in your world. Just don't violate copyright law and stuff like that. But you can take a lot of these books, all the setting books, and mine them and stuff like that. So just because you're not running a game in Absalom or a game in the Inner Sea and Golarion, that doesn't mean that you have to avoid the product or the product can't have a whole lot of worth to you. Now, I'm sure some old dog GMs are going to be rolling through and go, duh, that wasn't really meant for you guys. You guys know. Those, I'm aiming that more at newer people. There's been a huge, influx of gamers over the past decade into tabletop RPGs, and a lot of new GMs that might not realize that you can do that. I will probably end up doing some streams about that in the future. So the table of contents is exactly what you would expect. Some of the art down here on the bottom. I do want to comment on some of this art down here on the bottom. Hey, Paizo, would you guys maybe consider doing some posters? Because I see 4 pieces of art here that are Absalom, and all 4 of them, if I could get them in a 2 foot by 3 foot standard size poster, I would certainly frame these, and they would be hung up in this room here somewhere, here in my studio. So, or as I like to call it, the wizard's study. Anyways, yeah. So hey, how about some posters? Table contents is awesome. The artwork, as always, is phenomenal. You will always catch the iconics and all that, and it really brings about a really nice feel for Absalom. All the artwork in here feeds into that, and as such, again, it's great. One of the things I missed there for a while, it seemed that there weren't a whole lot of big city books being put out, and really good setting book. Man, my nails are nasty. Forgive me for that. The Lost Omens line has tickled my fancy and made me so happy. As I said last night in the flip through of the Druid Complete Druid Chronicles by Beetle and Grimm's. I like this book so much that I actually, when Beetle and Grimm's announced that they were going to do their gold version of the box for it, I immediately started chomping at the bit, and luckily, the people I live with, amazing people, have made it to where we were able to pre-order it. So I have that box set coming. When I get that, I will definitely be up here doing a review and a flip through, a full-blown unboxing. You guys are going to see that box, its contents and everything, at the exact same time I'm doing it. So I really hope it doesn't show up until a stream day. But anyways, touching on that, there are 4 adventures in there, 4 individual adventures based in Absalom. I will be offering to run one-shots of those for you guys, for our viewers, that sort of thing. So again, the artwork in the book is amazing. Page quality is amazing. And again, what you come to expect from Paizo is top quality books. They did that with this. The artwork, again, amazing out. And if you're at all familiar with what they've done with Pathfinder 2E, they've got the sidebar kind of tabbing system going on, so that tells you exactly where it is, where you're at, and then you can look onto the sides of them, and you can kind of flip through, and as you're flipping through, you'll actually see the dark marks there, and it will tab out and tell you exactly where you're at. I tab my stuff out right now. It's all tabbed out for stuff that's going to be pertinent to the campaign that I'm going to be running. Some things that I want to bring to life in the city of Absalom that we'll actually get a chance to see it a little bit. One of the things I'm going to ask is please bear with me. I'm not going to show every single page. I've only got a couple hours to do this in. Matter of fact, I got about an hour and 40 minutes, so I better get to it. Also, don't photocopy or whatever. I don't know. Don't copyright violate. So the way the book is laid out, as you can see back here in the table of contents, is they are literally going to start with Absalom, its history, government, laws, crime, culture, moving all the way through, and then it gets into the location maps plus the guide to the city, and then they start talking about the various districts in the city, and then they give you an NPC glossary and then an adventure toolbox to go along with it. So amazing stuff. The artwork, again, like I said, one of the things I love about a lot of the Pathfinder 2e products that Paizo is doing is the stuff that they put in the sidebars, like here where they talk about ancient prestige. They give you this the city crest or the coat of arms for the city, the founding laws of Absalom, which you can actually go see. Amazing stuff. And they give you a brief breakdown in the front of the book as to like the different districts and stuff like that, and some, again, more things, little bits of cool information that I like, things like Absalonian titles, different titles for different people at higher stages within the city, things about the shadowy sides of it, all that sort of stuff, and other places of interest. And then later on in the book, they will go over those areas in a little bit more detail. One of the things I like about it is, like, say if I'm getting ready and I just got an adventure and they're going to be passing through Absalom, or there's going to be going through Absalom a couple of times, I can just open the book up right here, look, and just see which are the quarters. Maybe something will catch my attention. That happened a lot when I was thumbing through this thing, kind of getting things ready for the campaign that I'm running. Really cool stuff in the sidebars that will spark imagination and all that. That's one of the things I love about what they're doing with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It goes into telling you about the power players and all that. And again, the Shadow War with infamous locales and multiple crime rings. Absalom can be a place where danger lurks on the street for the unwary. Yet questions of who lives and who dies are often a matter of politics and the hidden struggle between Absalom's major players over political influence. Known as the Shadow War, is the deadliest conflict in the city. That right there is enough to just spark an entire campaign based off of that. So these sidebars are really cool. And then again, the artwork, they're touching on some of the, giving you, like, you know, some of the power players and some of the important NPCs in the city. And that goes on for a couple pages. And then they go on to talk about the current state of Absalom. And then you start getting the history. Again, the history thing is really cool. Just for a simple fact is, you know, maybe you want to run it a couple hundred years ago, that sort of thing. It can also give you a lot of hooks and stuff like that out of the history of a place. Got a fan going because it's warm in the studio, so my throat keeps drying out, so please bear with me. Appreciate that. And again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out tonight. A lot of different things you can be doing. It's a Friday night for one, so there's a ton of other stuff you could be out there doing, which, maybe I should be out doing it as well. So it goes through the history, talks about Aerodin, all of that stuff, the different ages behind it, and then, of course, they get into the government, law, crime, and all that. And they have been very, very thorough about a lot of stuff like this. I love the treatment that they give in this book, and it's similar to what they did in the Mwangi Expanse. They don't tell you everything, so that you feel, hey, Anchor, welcome, man, good to see you. They don't give you so much information that you almost kind of feel overburdened or locked into what they've written, but they definitely give you enough knowledge so that you can simply take 15, 20 minutes before a session, if you know that they're going to be doing something with crime and stuff like that, and be able to look it up and do it. And again, the sidebars, with even more quick at a glance kind of information. I'm one of those GMs that likes to have books open and stuff like that and just laying around when I'm working on a campaign, as well as when I'm running things. And sometimes, you look over and you see something on a you got a little bit of a down space in your game that night, and just happen to look over and catch something out of one of these sidebars because the coloring is different and all that sort of stuff. But they cover everything as you would expect. If anybody out there has played Agents of Edgewatch, there you go. You're familiar with that. Again, the book is amazing. I mean, the amount of information they give you. They talk about the different crime syndicates, the different crime lords, things like that. There is more than enough content in this book, just in the first 40, 50 pages to start crafting an amazing story and a campaign. One of the things I'm looking at doing maybe next year, 2023, is running a full-blown intrigue-filled city-based campaign. Absalom, the island that it's on, all that provides enough space to do, I believe, at least a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 12 campaign. And that's something I've been talking about wanting to do for a while. So when they announced this book, everybody who knows me saw me turn into like a 12-year-old. I was so giddy. So they give you tons and tons of information on everything. Fabulous book. They go into the culture and the customs, where they talk about like a day in the life of, and the mindset of living in Absalom, all those things. And one of the cool things about that is you can read the Absalom mindset and kind of get a feel for the city, and then go deeper into the book and look at the different quarters and say you're going to be in the coins or something like that, and see how the coins operates and read that information. And then you can apply this kind of mindset, like what you got here, to that. And so different parts of the city will feel different. There's a section in there where they talk about the different smells in the city and all of that. Again, that's flavor. One of the things I love doing with and one of the reasons I love being a GM is the narrative aspect of gaming. So if I can give sights and sounds and smells and feels and that sort of thing to my players while we're playing, it heightens the whole thing and they get more vested into it, and it produces a better game. So Paizo has definitely stepped up and definitely given you the tools to really bring Absalom to life, like they have with the entire Inner Sea. Myself, we played during first edition, and we did do a Galarian-based campaign a couple times, I believe, and the first edition was great. Fabulous. I think that they've stepped it up even further with all the Lost Omens stuff and with Pathfinder second edition in general. But I think especially with books like the Mwangi Expanse, the other Lost Omen books, and here with Absalom, wow. They definitely give you all the tools to really bring the setting to life. So they talk about like the famous festivals, all that stuff. Everything you could possibly, just about life in the city of Absalom. Like coats of arms and colors and the Mother Sphinx and the Star Stone. They even go into like subcultures and countercultures. You know that if any of us that live in a place that's got any kind of size to it, I think the place I live in when college is in, we got about 110,000 people. You know that there's kind of like a general feel of the city you live in, and then that kind of, again, kind of splays out underneath of it to the different subcultures, and whether that is like the goth culture, the punk culture, metalheads, or artists, or musicians, or if it's subcultures related to people's actual cultures, that sort of thing. So providing that kind of information in a book like this is, to me, invaluable. They go into a whole lot of things like pastimes, like they talk about music and theater in the city, all of that stuff. Information, like I said, this book, my review's are already done. I mean, there's no point in me even saying that I'm going to do any more reviews or anything like that. I love the book. I think this book is fabulous. I think it's amazing. I think a lot of people out there want a lot more crunch, and I can understand that. One of the reviews I read on a fairly big online shop, the person only gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and his complaint was that there was not enough crunch in the book, and he wouldn't recommend it to a DM or a GM. The reason why I bring that up is I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me, because I can see as a player you probably wouldn't have a whole lot of use for this, and maybe that's what he meant. But by saying to the GM, he wouldn't recommend it to a GM, I'd recommend it to any GM I know of that is literally running this system, running Pathfinder 2nd Edition, or is even running D&D 5e or an OSE game, whatever. This information's great. And for the most part, it is, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here that obviously is Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but it wouldn't be tough to go out and buy this and just omit the Pathfinder 2nd Edition stuff and put in whatever you want, and then you would have a city that you wouldn't believe. So they talk about like, you know, children's games and all that sort of thing, and sports and all of that. They go into like the information exchange, how information moves, like newspapers and print and stuff like that. This I love. I was really, 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 really happy to see this come in. There was a Pathfinder adventure path that number 153, it says in here, Long Shadows. These are Shunies, and they're absolutely cool. They're small humanoids that resemble a squat, bipedal, flat-faced dogs like pugs. Shunies are found almost exclusively on the Isle of Kortost and have been in sharp decline ever since the god Arodin died. Though Shuni society has a heavy bias toward farming and gardening, a stable enclave exists in the city of Absalom, lured by the Shuni preferential employment benefits offered by Eastgate's Green Lift Post newsletter. So again, that's a prime example of flavor that you can bring in, and that's one of the things when my party gets to Absalom here in a few weeks, maybe a month and a half. That's one of the things I'm going to throw out immediately. They will end up seeing a Shuni running across with newspaper in hand. I think it's really cool, and it also shows off this sidebar stuff. They don't have to put it here in the center of it, but the little sidebars really can add a lot to a game. And again, if you look at the tabbing on the side, it's what we come to expect from all the 2nd edition stuff, which I think is amazing that they did that and they carried it through. Transportation, they talk about. One of the things that I love in here is the transportation is, they've got some exotic stuff in here, and anybody who's familiar with my gaming group and knows the players, not gonna name any names, Connor. I mean, I would never actually say Connor's name on stream and like, you know, call him out on something, but he has a tendency of saying dibs. One of the things I was so excited to see was that they did include information on elephants and how elephants are used in relation to the city. I love elephants. I think it's a really cool thing. Absalom is certainly a city big enough and at such a crossroads where more exotic things would be there, and I think that is really cool. So they touch on all of that sort of thing, and then they break down like transportation cost within the city itself. Of course, they cover trade and industry and all of that, all the guilds, the different markets. And again, when you talk about markets, well, actually it's right over here. You can't omit the biggest and biggest and biggest, the Grand Bazaar, which is in the coins. Again, like I said, just to do a little promotion, next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I will be doing a brief flip through of this. I'm gonna do some mini painting that night too, but I'm gonna do a brief flip through of Lost Omens: The Grand Bazaar. At that point, I will be giving away this book that I'm going through right now. That new copy, brand spanking new copy, is sitting right here. So that I'll be giving away next Wednesday when I do the review on this one, and then this one will be given away like probably the following Wednesday. So talks about all that, talks about the black market and questionable goods, all that sort of stuff. And then it goes into the Shadow War, which we touched on earlier as being like the big unseen political struggle and all that kind of stuff. The underground kind of political maneuvering within the city of Lost Omens, Absalom. Again, they give you quite a bit of information on it. All the noble houses, the movers and shakers. And again, with the sidebars. One of the things that you'll learn about Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and I can't quit talking about it, is the way they do and utilize the sidebars. So they'll give you a bunch of pertinent information about that chapter, and then they fill the sidebars with little snippets of information, like over here talking about the Scion Lords and Ladies. But outside of that, they put in the sidebars, again, that flavor sort of thing, which is they give you the crest, the family crest or the household crest for the different households within Absalom, the big movers and shakers, and that I love. Because I also have all of this stuff. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this really quick. I'm going to give some props out to something else that I am using an awful lot, and that is Demiplane. I have all the books, rule books, and all of the Lost Omen books in hardbound here with me. And I also have, oh, hey, let me do it over here so you can actually see it. I actually have all of those books also unlocked over here on Demiplane as well, as you can see. So I love when I see things like crests and stuff like what you see right here. This kind of thing in a book makes me happy because it's something that, again, I can use to create that feel, that flavor for my players, which helps them get more into it. So like, say if I talk about House Arnson and I build that into a particular urban adventure, maybe they're going to do some work for House Arnson and stuff like that, I can easily, using that, and since we play online, just show them a picture, or I can put it out there so everybody, both everybody in chat and everybody that's in the party, can see it, and then that gives them a visual reference to this house, and that can be utilized. So I love it, the way they've done that with the sides. And then again, they go on here. So these are like the major, the big area here is left for the major houses, the big houses. These are the big movers and shakers on the underside that people don't ever really see on the political side unless they're involved in it. But on the sidebar, again, they come in with a lot of the lesser noble houses. So maybe you're doing, maybe you're going to go ahead and you're going to do an urban adventure, or you're going to do an urban campaign. And maybe you would like to have, or one of the players, or maybe one of the players comes to you, or two of the players come to you, and they want to do something where they're members of one of the noble houses of Absalom, which would be cool. And maybe you as the GM, maybe you don't want to get so embroiled in like the big major houses, you know, like House Kandrin or Demach or House Foxglove. I love that one, by the way. Whoever came up with that one knocked it out. I like that. They give you a lot of the lesser noble houses, so you could still get all that intrigue in there and maybe work into bigger intrigue, but with a little bit lesser important, you know, kind of house. So I love, again, the way that they've done a lot of that. So that's kind of what they've kind of done. I mean, this section here is amazing. It talks about all the movers and, you know, the Bloody Barbers and the Court of Black Paper and the Aspis Consortium. So not only the noble houses, but all like the criminal organizations and the underground operations within the city and how they all play and interact with each other and all of that, which is amazing. So this whole Pathfinder Society, everybody knows about that, or should. And then they go into the military. If you didn't know, Absalom has a couple different branches of military that handle different parts of it. There's an entire order of military that's actually outside the city walls. and all of that. I'm not going to go too much into it, but they actually talk about the military, and again, from a storyteller point of view, or from the viewpoint of a GM, this information, if I was going to be doing any kind of lengthy stay with a campaign in a place like Absalom, definitely information that I can use, definitely stuff in here just for me going through it the little bit that I have gone through it. It's definitely enough information for me to write several adventures just using the military stuff that's in here. Again, like the Star Watch and the Cavalry and the Navy, the Vaulecourt, all that stuff. And then they talk even about mercenaries, which is cool because in the campaign I'm currently running, the party, the PCs are actually ex-mercenaries. Well, 3 of them are. One of them isn't. And then we go into the guide to the city, and this is where you start getting into like the meat of the book. A lot of people, this is probably the reason why they bought the book itself. You start getting into the guide to the city, and this is going to give you the overview quickly of things and like dungeon locations and various attractions and all that stuff. And it gives you the different location types within the city, and they give you a quick key to use. And then they give you a thing here that decode the sidebars. So we're going to go ahead and look at that here. Let me find a sidebar in here. But they give you all the different various locations within the city. Like the map that's in the back of this thing has got a lot of locations that are keyed out, and that's what they're referencing here. And then there's plenty that you can go ahead and key out yourself, which I do plan on doing. And that's going to be pretty cool because that's something I want to try and get you guys, our viewers, involved in, is helping me on some streams coming up. Actually go into the digital map, put new markers on it, and create actual residences and NPCs and businesses and things like that, and make Absalom come alive in a kind of a twisted die roller sort of way. So hopefully I can get you guys involved in doing some of that with us. So it goes through all of that stuff, which is really cool. And this is just kind of basically a setup to the next sections, which is going to be the various quarters or districts in the city itself. And they give you some really cool tables in here as well, like a rumors table, which is another good thing. Well, it would be fun to watch, like doing the kind of mapping out the city and all that, and creating locales and stuff. I think it would be. If that's what you're talking about, that's kind of why I brought it up. Yeah, I think it'd be fun as heck. I really like the idea of having community involvement in a lot of the stuff that I do. We actually, a lot of people don't even realize it, that the king of the coins of the realm, or our channel points, if you save up those channel points, you can actually use those to have influence on our games, which is kind of really cool. I can't remember, I think it was Crimson Nexus just found that out on our last Saturday stream. So that was really cool. So they give you a table of rumors, which I love. I love tables. I always have since the old days, back in the late 70s and early 80s, all the way up through now. I love tables. I love anything that I can be running a game and quickly like just throw something in that is unplanned or something like that, or I need something quick. So rumors are really cool, and there's some really good ones in here. They also go into the different Absalom shops, and they give you a percentile, and it gives you can like randomly roll a shop's name if you wanted to. So like we could go ahead and roll and get a 48. The shop's name is Foresight. It's divination wares for bibliomancy, and all that stuff. And then it tells you a little bit notes about what that shop is. So this is something, again, Anchor. Hey, thank you for that sub, Anchor. Super appreciate it. Super appreciate it. You don't know how much that Prime sub means to us, because that's money that we can turn around and put back out there to help support people here locally that are fighting cancer, and eventually sometime down the road, if we get big enough, to help other people. So I appreciate that. But yeah, one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is when we make these shops and stuff and we put some out, I would like to also come up with ideas and have you guys, viewers, and myself, maybe on a couple of streams, sit down and make up some random tables for Absalom and some other things like that. So they give you like a bunch of Absalom and that, and then boom, you from there on out, you're locked and loaded, and you're going. Now you get to start looking at the different courts, or not the courts, but the different districts within the city. And this is where this book for me really begins to shine because I don't know if you're aware of it, but Absalom is bloody massive. It is a big, big city. The last time I think that I kind of was like really excited about a city before was probably back in the days when we got Waterdeep in the box set for Forgotten Realms back during, I think it was second edition. They did a Waterdeep box set that had like 10 giant poster sized maps and all that. I love cities. I think they're so amazing, and this one is absolutely well done. And they did a bang up job, as far as I'm concerned, on the districts and how they presented them and the information they give. Each district starts with the district's name, a little sideboard about it, and then they go about like the district council, the headquarters, the watch, key NPCs, services, and then they go in to tell you about it as well. And then they give you like a map area, a full page map area, so you don't have to have, like, say if you're going to be running, that's one of the things, again, they knocked this book out of the park. They really good forethought. They you can tell that they're players themselves. Let me see if I can draw a little bit better focus. Nope. Okay, there we go. I think. Let me see. I'm gonna play with the focus here for a second. There we go. That'll work. One of the things I love about this is it's keyed out, and like say you're running a game in Absalom, and that session or a bunch of sessions are specifically related to the Ascendant Court, for example. They give you so that you don't have to have that big giant map out where it might get ruined and that sort of thing, and you already have about 800 books open, or you have Pathfinder Nexus open, or you have your PDFs open. I love the fact that each quarter has the map, the keyed map, the same thing that's on the bigger map. And that way you can have all your information right there. Really, really cool. And then they go into the district locations. And again, just like everything else that we've come to be used to or become familiar with in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it is again keyed out. So like the Avenue of the Hopeful, and then it's got its own tags. Again, really, really cool. And again, the sidebar comes in here talking about gods and all that, because that has a lot to do with the Ascendant Court. And then they go in again to start telling you about the various places. The information's really good. I think they did a good job on the selection of locales that they gave us. Again, like I said, I fully intend on sitting down with my players and my viewers and coming up with some of our own locations and keying out certain districts and stuff like that. I'd love to start with like the coins. And kind of just branch out, and we can put our own stuff in there, which would be really fantastic. And then again, the artwork. I mean, these little bits of artwork like this, like the Skin Saw Man here, I love that stuff because that's art that I can then show my players during a game, or put it out there on the stream when we're streaming, so that you guys as well as they can see what it is that I'm describing, and it gets more vivid and brings them a little bit further into it. That still doesn't look like it's focusing in. I think it's good enough. So yeah, all the districts are absolutely amazing. Here we are with the coins. This is kind of where we will eventually be playing here. Probably, I'm thinking, probably sometime in March. Our campaign will actually move into Absalom, and there is an inn that I created called the Three Coins. The Three Coins. That is going to hopefully be their base of operations for at least a little while. And so this is someplace, as you can see, is where I stopped tabbing as well. This will be where a lot of things will be happening in a focal point. Plus, this area in the center here is obviously the bazaar, the Grand Bazaar, and a lot of stuff's going to be going down there. So, and again, like with everything else, they've got schemes of the Bloody Barbers, all of that, and again with the artwork pieces. So that, you talk about the Gallery of Innovation to your players, you talk about the Eternal Shackle or things like that, and they give you the artwork. Sorry if you can hear my neighbors screaming and yelling outside the back window of the studio. Not a whole lot I can do about that. We're working on getting some soundproofing stuff up in there. But you can actually show them the pictures, which again, I appreciate it. And then they talk about some other stuff, all that sort of things. Amazing. The artwork, vivid. It lets you know. They definitely brought across the fact that Absalom's kind of a crossroads city in the inner sea. So you have all these different cultures that come together, meld in this big melting pot. And the artwork brings that across. Here is the Grand Bazaar merchant. You can see that it's definitely a cat folk. The wild looking birds, obviously, kind of to me hint for maybe the Mwangi Expanse, further south in the jungles. So it brings about that feel of that you might be trying to get with Absalom. And for a lot of more experienced GMs, that may not necessarily be a concern for you. Sorry, I'm checking some here. Yeah, it might not be a concern for you. I mean, you might already know a lot of this stuff, but for a lot of newer GMs and first time GMs and stuff like that, things like that are sometimes overlooked. You're so worried about performing and being a good GM and creating a great game for your players. And books like this, and again, like I said earlier, you don't have to be playing a Galarian to utilize this book at all. You can take this and plop it into your homebrew. Just don't violate copyright law and you're fine. You can do that. So the artwork in here, I think the whole thing kind of brings together kind of that crossroads feel of Absalom. And that's one of the things I liked back in the old days with Waterdeep. Even though it sat way high north on the Sword Coast, it still had that kind of crossroads feel to it. It was like kind of a blending pot. So I love all of that. And again, the information they give you in here and the selection of things that they give you, that's one of the things that they did talk about over here was Clockwork Pets, which is really cool since they showed the Gallery of Innovation. Again, the quality, the page quality, the printing, I haven't seen any like misprinting or bad editing in this book. That I haven't seen any of it. All the artwork is top notch. And again, like here, they bring across everything that you could possibly want. I love the idea of the coins and the Grand Bazaar and all that. So that is super cool. And again, the Temple of Lost Coins. And then we move on to the docks. And again, smashing you right out of the mush. There again is that map that I was talking about that they give you for every quarter, and it's kind of just a focused in section from the bigger map that's in the back of the book that I will be pulling out. This is my copy, so I'll pull that out later. We'll unfold it. We'll take a look at it. Again, I love the fact that they do that, but when you get to the docks, the first thing you're hit with is what the docks looks like, this flavor art that they put in here. And again, like a lot of people don't think that the art is that important. For me, visually, I think it is, because you're talking about the docks, and it's a big portion. Like this is actually sat kind of that way. It's a big portion. It's a big district in Absalom, very important, obviously. And as you can see right here, there's the bay, and it shows you how big it is, and the emotions that are evoked off this piece of artwork lets you immediately know, again, there's that crossroads feel, but it's also, it shows you that this is a massive city. So the art design and the art direction for this book was phenomenal. The people, the artists and the art directors, they definitely knew what they were doing, and they definitely knocked it out of the park. And again, each one of them starts with a brief of key NPCs and services, things you can expect to see, and the players, the movers and shakers and things like that. And then they go into the actual district itself with a bunch of the different locations, and again with the sides. And again, like I said, the sidebar that we've all become very familiar with Pathfinder 2nd Edition is carried over into the Lost Omens stuff as well. And again, like I said before, if you'd like a chance to win this copy, or actually not this copy, but actually win this copy that I went out and picked up today. I'm not sponsored by Paizo. They haven't given me any of this stuff. I have actually gone out and we have some people behind us that are helping us that believe in this channel's message, and they're the ones that are doing it. So if you want a chance to win that book, tune in on Wednesday of this week. Stick around right now because there's some more announcements coming. But tune in this Wednesday when I'll be doing some mini painting, and I will also be taking a look at this book briefly and doing a quick flip through and review of this book, which obviously, as you can see, is the Grand Bazaar, which is in the coins. And that during that stream, I will be giving away one copy of this to one of you guys, our lucky viewers. The only thing you have to do to be eligible to win any of this stuff is just be present and be a follower of the channel. That's literally it. So again, they carry through with all the artwork, kind of showing you stuff that gives you feels, like beneath the docks and all of that. Again, phenomenal. I'm just gonna kind of flip through the artwork. I love the art direction in all the Lost Omens stuff. And again, we go into the East Gate, and boom. Again, the artwork that kind of evokes that it's a much different place. So let's look at Eastgate here, and let's go back to the coins. Let's go back here and take a look at the coins. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's the Ascendant Court. That is the Ascendant Court. That is not what I'm looking for. Let's go find the coins here. It should be the next one up. There we go. There's the coins. So you can see that it kind of gives you some architectural similarities, but this feels a lot more congested, like you're going into an area that's kind of more packed in. This is more open, more administrative feeling, and all of that sort of thing. Again, and then it gives you, each one of the districts gives you, again, there's the map. And then it gives you a district summary. Eastgate is a quiet residential district with several iconic landmarks, including the Postern Gate, the Blue Tower, and the Watchtower. The Green Ridge neighborhood is known as the main site of Druidic activity. And so the artwork kind of begins to evoke things for you, and the maps. And again, they go in the artwork. And again, like I said before, it has a definite Crossroads feel. Absalom does, at least to me. It feels an awful lot like it is, like, again, a crossroads city, a major city, and they bring that across with the chameleon and the snakes and the birds, and the fact that the headdress piece has definitely got like an Osirian kind of feel, that Egyptian kind of feel, which is a little bit south, but it's also mixed in with some elements in there that are a little bit like the pants style there with the stripes. If you know anything about history, that's kind of more of a Norse Scandinavian kind of feel. So maybe she's spent time further north in the land of the Lenormand kings. Who knows? Definitely maybe a merchant traveler, that sort of thing. But it brings across, again, that feel of that crossroads thing. The artwork is amazing. We're going to kind of continue to just kind of rock through these. Just flip through a few pages, let you guys kind of take a look at it and all that sort of stuff. And then, again, the Wonder Veil. But here we go into the foreign quarter. And again, if you look at like the artwork that they precede every single one of the quarters with, it really does evoke kind of the feel. So if you match the artwork, you look at the map, you read about the quarter, and you come back to that artwork. That artwork really does evoke what they were going for with the quarter and how that quarter feels. Again, Paizos, if you guys are out there, man, your designers, you guys did an amazing job. Your art director needs a raise. Definitely needs a raise. All you guys need raises, especially your freelance writers. Anyways, again, the same thing that we've come to expect. Amazing stuff, amazing artwork. And again, things like here, we're going to talk about the Crimson Coin in the foreign quarter. I like it. Just the name, the Crimson Coin, rings to me of maybe a dangerous place, someplace you might find in a place such as a foreign quarter, which could be very much a melting pot of different cultures, some of them not getting along and that sort of thing. So let's take a brief read of this. I hope Paizos doesn't mind that I'm doing this. Sure, if they do, I'll hear about it. So again, they do the same tagging system. So it's the Crimson Coin. It's location 100, so you can pop and find it here on the map. Real quick, real fast. I think I should be able to. There it is right there. And it lets you know that it's a tavern, so it's tagged as a tavern. Barefisted brawling is the main attraction at this bustling two-story tavern, which is popular with gamblers, carousers, gladiators, and their raucous supporters. In addition to a large fire pit and a long serving bar, the establishment features a deep earthen pit, roped off at the top to prevent drunkards from falling in, where anyone willing to put up a silver coin can try to last 60 seconds against the house champion in a bare-fisted brawl. Young female warriors especially come to the coin to make their names, since the owner, Tormin Iates, or eats, is always looking for new recruits to add to his all-female gladiatorial teams. The Crimson Coin is also the only place outside the Aurorium where gambling on arena matches is legal. This is due largely to the fact that Tormund Aites, I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce that, is not only the Crimson Coin's proprietor, but nomarch of the local district council. And then it tells you the NPCs you're apt to find there, which is Gasporian, who's a bookie, Tormund Aites, who's the proprietor, and Undrul Vosh, who is the house champion. And just reading that little section makes me kind of itchy. I want to go there. I want to take my party there. That's one of the things I love about being a GM is I can expand and explore and bring these places to life. And I read stuff like that. It really gets me going. And then they can give you stuff like here, like the Rune Lord Warriors. I would check that out if I were you, because that very well could lead into some stuff. And then again, artwork. Everything you could come to expect from a book like this. We're going to go ahead and flash on through so that we can take a look at things. And again, remember that this is the School of the North Songwind. Again, it's the foreign quarter. And so the artwork should, in my mind, the artwork should definitely reach out and try to evoke that in the GM first, and then the GM can take that and use that to evoke the feeling of that quarter or that district or whatever to their players, to his or her players. And this does that. That piece of artwork definitely does that. And so, again, really, really cool. And then we go into the Ivy District. Bucks, rich people. Rich people. And you can see that, again, by the artwork. You have a carriage, people in fineries, the plant life, the trees, the architecture, everything about it makes you think that the wealthy live here. So let's go ahead and take a look at, again, the sidebar in this district summary of the Ivy District. Absalom's Arts District is known for the flowering trees along every road and countless stunningly beautiful homes. Many of the Inner Sea region's most influential plays and musical performances make their debut in one of the district's theaters, opera halls, and tea houses. Anyone in need of a custom magic item can also find many options for commission in this quarter, since the Ivy District is home to many of the city's most talented specialty artisans and independent craftsmen. So you read that, and now you come back to this, and you're very, very rich looking. You would think it would be a richer upper quarter type thing, and it is. But now you know that it has theaters and all that. And then you start to look at the architecture, and you think back. What it evokes in me, the artwork, is like roaring 20s Art Deco style old time theaters. The big garish kind of buildings that draw your attention to them. That's exactly the feel I get off on this thing, and I think that is really cool. I think they've done, again, a markup, bang up job. And then again, like as always, it goes into everything, tells you about different areas like the Sangha Bistro and all of that. And again, with the artwork bringing about the feel of the Ivy District itself, the fact that it's a performing arts thing. So here you have some street performers being chased by agents, looks like agents of the Edgewatch, and all that. And again, more flavor, constantly adding that into it is to me an amazing thing. I absolutely love what they've done to this place. Again, got a tailor sitting there and doing the fashion thing and all that. And then we're going to bounce on out of here, and we're going to go to the Pedal District. So let me bounce over here, and then we come into the Pedal District right here, and boom. Got this big foresty kind of rural feel to it and all of that. And it's the grandest homes of Absalom. Absalom's rich and powerful line the stately streets of the Pedal District. Non-residents come to the Pedal District to study the oldest school of magic in Absalom, the College of Mysteries. And again, it gives you that. And you can see here on the map how you go from like the heart of the city and everything's packed in tight and all that up into where the nobles live and the rich noble houses and the people with money and the shakers and the movers and the shakers. And you can see how things begin to spread out as they begin. You go from city streets where things are tightly packed into estates where the rich and the powerful live. This sidebar for me is really cool because they go into 4 fashion tips for Absalom. Again, I love flavor. So the people of Absalom sit at the crossroads of 1,000 trade routes, filling their pockets with coin and their heads with foreign ideas. Anyone hoping to fit in should know the following fashion facts. Color is king. Foreign trade makes dyes cheap in Absalom. And even the poorest longshoremen can afford clothing dyed with rose madder and woad, while aristocrats are garbed in saffron and purple. And it goes on to talk about the fashion. And again, that's kind of flavor. That's something that you can use in your games to bring that kind of about and help kind of bring the city to life for your players, and for, in our case, on a stream, for the people that are watching our stream, so that they can visualize what's going on. And again, things that you would expect, huge pools and baths and things like that, and again, it is pretty killer. We're gonna pop on over to the Precipice Quarter. Now you start looking at the Precipice Quarter, and that brings out a whole different feel. Again, you go from the rich and all of that stuff, and then they drop you into the Precipice Quarter. Nice little juxtaposition, and again, the art direction is amazing. Because let's look at the district summary really quick. In its prime, the district featured ancient magical towers, brightly colored homes, and a resplendent fairground. But all of that turned to rubble after an earthquake shattered the sector 2 decades ago. The quake sheared entire cliffs from the district and cast countless historical monuments into the harbor and the docks, leaving the Precipice Quarter so ruined that it was abandoned to the undead and strange magic that arose in the disaster's aftermath. Like I said, I am full on intent to run, hopefully starting next year, a full-blown campaign that is, I would say, 80 to 85% focused in the city of Absalom and on the Isle of Cortos. How many adventures can you possibly mine out of a place like the Precipice Quarter? You know, so not only are there little adventure hooks dropped in throughout this entire book, all the way through it, but there's also an amazing amount of hold on, there we go. An amazing amount of things that they've done, like things like the Precipice Quarter. Like, this is an entire quarter where you can go crazy on adventure and that sort of thing, which maybe I will end up doing. They give you district locations, all of that sort of stuff. The Bone Glutton Pit, and they talk about the Drowned Yard Child. Schoolyard games, again, I'm going to read this one really quick. Kind of creepy. 2 small children with damp, blue-tinged skin dance through a game of hopscotch chalked on a desolate street. Instead of numbers, the squares are marked with foul, squirming runes. The children's feet are strangely soundless, but leave wet prints puddled across the markings. At the end of their game, both children turn and grin, showing sharp needle teeth, and beckon for anybody nearby to join their game. Wow. For me, that's wow. And again, it brings across beautifully the flavor of the city and what they're trying to do with it and all that. So again, I'm going to flip through a little bit, and then we're going to come in and talk about the puddles. Every city's got that district, that quarter that is a little bit downtrodden, maybe the poorer sections of the city and all of that. And this city is absolutely is absolutely no different. Absalom's got its slums, it's got its lower trodden places, and the puddles. Always Absalom's poorest district due to its propensity for flooding, the puddles sank a few critical inches deeper during the same earthquake that turned Beldrin's Bluff into the Precipice Quarter. Now, many of the streets and buildings in the puddles are partially submerged, most, if not all, of the time. The district's former central green has become a tidal lagoon filled with monstrous fish and parts of washed-up shipwrecks, many still containing sunken treasure. Perhaps nowhere else in Absalom are citizens so left to fend for themselves than in this waterlogged district. And again, the artwork brings that to life. So maybe what you could do is, if you got the PDF, or you can use the artwork, or you can show it to your players to kind of bring that across. This these descriptions and the artwork that they give, if you have a way of showing your players the artwork while you either read verbatim, uh, uh, or you just kind of condense what's here in the district summary, those two things combined can really evoke the feel of the different districts of Absalom. Again, knockout job on the art direction, knockout job on the writing. This thing, again, another quarter, they talk about, flotsam and jetsam that's washed in from out to sea and out in the bay and all that sort of thing, and how there is still lost treasure. These houses are partially submerged, who knows? So you could do some really cool stuff with it for sure. And again, the artwork immediately, it kind of brings and evokes that. And then if you look on the map, you can see the lagoon that they're talking about, and all this areas and stuff like that, and how there's water throughout a large portion of it, and all that. Again, really, really well done. I can't say enough about it. I have not really been, like everybody, when the core rulebook first came out, a lot of us, I think, were... Sorry, I'm trying to get the focus to come in right. There we go. Nope, I think I went a little bit too far. New setup. A lot of us were maybe a little disappointed with the editing and the arrangement of the book, and some things that seemed to maybe could have been edited down and all that. Listen, the game is amazing. Pathfinder 2nd Edition is a fantastic system, and I give massive props to Bullman, to Logan Bonner, to the entire team, Stefan. I know I'm missing Mark, Seifert. You guys did an amazing job on the game. I love it. But you guys know as well as anybody else does, that book could have been a little bit tighter. This, I don't see any of that. They got it down. They know exactly what they're doing now with the 2nd edition for sure. So incredible. Again, we're going to flip through. We're going to get to Westgate. And again, I love it because the artwork, again, gives you that Al-Qadim, Forgotten Realms kind of Alibaba and the 40 Thieves and Arabian Nights and all that sort of thing. So you have the art. Again, we're going to touch on the summary. Westgate is home to many of the best established non-noble families in Absalom, many of whom have lived in Westgate's baronial townhouses for multiple generations. Westgate's many traditionalists and old money aristocrats strongly dislike the disorder and revolutionary edicts that have marked recent years in Absalom, and some politically minded Westgate residents are stumping for a return to the old ways. And so it kind of gives you that feel of what you're going to end up finding there. Again, it's against one of the walls, and so forth. And again, the artwork definitely evokes the fact that Absalom is a crossroads city. The Groggy Froggy Tavern. Cool. All right. And again, you can see that a lot of stuff that evokes much feeling. Stuffed Gorgon. That is great. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Again, we're going to move on to the Wise Quarter. And again, the artwork up on a hill, big, massive buildings. And again, there's some of that kind of Middle Eastern, like Osirian and south of Absalom is kind of filtered in, mixed in with maybe some more European elements and things like that to kind of show you it's kind of a melting pot. The soaring towers of the Arcanarium, and the domes of the Foray Logos are but two of the Absalom's many repositories of knowledge. These institutions and countless other libraries, schools, and museums give the Wise Quarter its name. The Wise Quarter is also a vital place of governance, since it is the seat of Absalom's Grand Council and home to the Absalom Mint. And there you go. And we'll continue to work our way through the Wise Quarter, and we'll get into the Undercity, kind of just flipping through here. I don't know how long I've been going, an hour and 22 minutes. Yeah, I got about 45 minutes left to go. So we're gonna continue looking at this. We might actually maybe get into something else tonight as well. Maybe we'll see. Again, it's an amazing book. If you are playing in Galarian and maybe you've hesitated about buying it, or for whatever reason that may be, hey, listen, go buy it. It's worth the money. all the way through. It's a great book. It's very well done. It's every bit as good as everything else that they've done with the Lost Omens line, which I happen to be a really big fan of. I love Paizos' approach to doing stuff. Like, they could have heavy-handed this. They could have easily turned this into a 600-page monster book. They could have broken it into a two-book slipcase version if they wanted to, and piled so much information. And one of the things I like about the entire Lost Omens line, I guess you could call this a bit of a review of that Lost Omens line in whole. One of the things I love about it is the fact that they give you a lot of hooks and they give you a lot of really good information and a lot of flavor, but they leave you plenty of room to make it your own. They've created it, yeah, they own the rights to it, but when you buy it and you start playing in it, every GM out there is going to have a different take on the Inner Sea. Every GM out there is going to have a different take on the Forgotten Realms. Every GM out there is going to have a different take on Ravenloft. And I've seen a lot of books over the years where the authors get a little overzealous and they pack it and they make it kind of unusual because they don't leave any room for growth or for creativity. One of the things I love about what Paizo has done with the Lost Omens line is, while they've given us a ton of really cool material and they've given us so much flavor and all that stuff, they've left ample room for every GM out there that's running this material to take and get creative and make it our own. So on that regard, boom, great and amazingly well done. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So we're gonna get into the Undercity here. You can see the kobolds riding on their little beetle, and again, artwork, the region summary, bringing those two things together. You can read this or paraphrase it, and then show the artwork, and your players, I guarantee, will know exactly what they're probably in for out there. Which is really kind of an interesting thing. So it goes again with the services and the key NPCs. The region summary: Absalom's Undercity boasts an incredible variety of environments and potential foes, from giant rats and other mundane menaces clogging ancient sewers to forgotten crypts of past eras packed with hungry undead to marauding packs of Morlocks, ghouls, and worse. The Undercity runs more than a mile below the city streets. Those seeking deadly dungeons to test their mettle need not venture into the Cairnlands or travel to foreign ports. The Undercity has no shortage of treasure-packed hidey holes right below your feet. The maps on the following page provide a number of ready-built Undercity locales for quick use when underground exploration leads to combat, an event that occurs with alarming frequency. So let's go over and take a look at the maps, and boom. You've got some maps. They're detailed out. You've got yourself some flavor. And again, if you look through this, they give you tons of flavor just for the Undercity, but you're left with ample room to make it your own. So many different play styles out there. One of the reasons for me that it's very important that authors don't take a heavy hand with what they're writing for games is to leave that bit of creativity for the players and the GM to explore and make that their own. I've done panels and stuff at conventions before, and I've been asked by several people over the years, if there was advice that I could give for a dungeon master, for a GM, and that is, don't over prep, don't over write. The more you write, the more you prep, the more you run the risk of becoming so vested in what you've made that you kind of, in a way, write out your players' ability, and you take away their free agency. You take away their ability to have an influence, and you become so vested in what you've written that you don't want to let go of it. You don't want to let them, you don't want to have the chance of it getting ruined. And I think a lot of times when authors start writing setting books and adventure books and all that, they forget that aspect, and they come in a little too heavy-handed, and they take that spark of creativity away from the players and the GM at the table. That's the same thing as what I'm talking about, where a GM comes in, over prepares, overwrites, becomes too vested in what they're creating. They think it's the greatest thing ever. They bring it to the table and they hold it tight to themselves. What I always recommend for GMs, and I'll say it for authors as well, is write it, but keep in mind that you're writing something that the intention is that it will be taken and put on the center of either a virtual table like this or a real life table, and that it's going to be ran and explored by other people. So if you're an author, writing with that approach can really help you. And I think that the amazing writers and people at Paizo have done a bang up job on providing enough hooks and enough information to help you bring the city to life, but I've also left you a ton of room to make that setting and that city your own. Same for GMs. Remember that. When you create something, you're taking it in your hands and you're putting it out on your table with the intention that your fellow players are going to end up exploring this. So don't get yourself so invested in it that it's hard for you to let it go and let them come in. Tabletop RPGs, it's so funny that back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, there was this big kind of thing that everything rested on the shoulders of the GM. And while the GM or Dungeon Master or the Game Master's role is very, very important, obviously, it's not the only story being told at the table. And I look at tabletop RPGs more as a communal storytelling. I'll come up with hooks and ideas and all that sort of stuff, and I'll put it out there. And one of my favorite things is seeing what they do with it. And then I start reacting to them and facilitating the adventure. Facilitating, there's the word I was looking for. It took me a while to get to it, but I think that Paizo has done an absolutely amazing job with all the Lost Omens stuff, but really in a book like Absalom, and they did it again in the Mwangi Expanse, and I'm looking forward to like the Saga Lands, the Shining Kingdoms, which is where we're coming from, Gold Road, all that, seeing what books they do for them, is they give you ample amounts of material that will help facilitate you bringing their setting to life in your own way. Okay, so I hope that made any kind of dang sense. They go into talking about things like in the sidebars, like sewer squabbles. Again, the artwork, hippocamps. The artwork, there is, a matter of fact, as you can see here, those are hippocamps. I want to flip back again. This to me is the sign of a really good, well done book. Let's see if I can find it. Should be getting close. Oh, I think I went too far. I think that where I want to be is up over here. Yeah, I think I'm getting there. Bear with me. Here we go. So here you talk about, like I remember earlier when we talked about in just the general overview of Absalom, they talked about transportation and different mounts and all that sort of thing. And here you can see where they talk about hippocampi. These aquatic equines serve primarily as steeds for Absalom's wave riders cavalry. And while the local Azarketi are willing to rent out hippocampi to small groups, most of the steeds see use in a strictly military capacity. Hey, Spider Nose, how you doing? Hope you're doing all right. Good to see ya. Thank you for stopping in too, by the way. Appreciate that. So then again, like I said, with the artwork that they did in the book, you can see here a whole bunch of hippocampi. And it kind of, I like it because it sparks, gives you things to work with. What we're doing tonight, my friend, is we are taking a look at Absalom, City of Lost Omens, the hardbound from Paizo. And I announced earlier that on Wednesday of this week, during the next Wizard study or design time, whichever one I decide to do, I'm thinking about doing some mini painting, maybe painting up some minis. I am going to be giving this book away. And I'm also going to be doing on Wednesday a short thumb through and review of the Grand Bazaar. And I will eventually give that book away, but not on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to be giving away the Absalom, City of Lost Omens. Yeah, exactly. They don't. Paizo, one of the things back in the day, I don't know if people remember, but for the longest time, monster manuals and monster books were all black and white. And then Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, they did the Monstrous Manual. And I believe that was the first time that we got a full book of color art for monsters. And that artwork was so evocative because for the first time, rather than just reading about the color, you could see the color. And I think that they understand, especially, right, exactly. You must be one of the old ones too. No, but they fully understand the importance of flavor and what art can do just for like when you're sitting down as a GM writing an adventure or writing a campaign and having artwork to look at to evoke all that stuff. I've got artwork of Lord of the Rings and some Pathfinder art and stuff from Candlekeep. Ooh, MegaCon. Is that the name of the con, or are you talking about Origins, or you talking about Dragon Con? You talking about Gen Con? But yeah, I've got tons of art around here, so I love sitting in here and well, heck, you mean even look at the map. I mean, right there. I love surrounding myself with things that are evocative of what it is that I'm writing about. I do mainly fantasy stuff, so I surround myself with that. So the artwork's really important. Exactly, worth 1,000 words. So Spider, what con? Is it literally called MegaCon, or is it one of the big boys? One of the big cons. So again, it's really cool. The artwork is fabulous. Kobolds. MegaCon in Orlando. Cool. Cool. I'll have to look that up. They got a website? I'll have to look that up. I'm always looking. I love looking at cons. I don't get to go to them because daughter just got done with cancer, so I got to be very careful with COVID out there, because the Omicron variant that's currently out there is people that have fought blood cancers are very susceptible to it, and that's what my daughter just got done fighting, so I have to be super careful. Cool thing here about this kobold that we got here, I had a hard time. We have WizKids' second biggest con in Florida. Oh, sweet. I will look it up then. Thank you for being having attention. Everybody's seen Gobbo here, my goblin. That's done by WizKids. Foam. He's latex covered foam. Amazing piece. My daughter and her mom got it for me before they went off to Florida for her stem cell transplant. And my partner went ahead and May 19th through the 22nd. You know, I my birthday's May 17th, so maybe I deserve a little birthday present. No, won't be happening this year, but maybe next year. Who knows? Maybe I can do like a 2 months con run. That'd be crazy. Oh, mobile streaming rig, and I hit a bunch of cons over the con season. That would be cool. Running games and all that, that'd be amazing. But anyways, WizKids had announced a few months ago that they were doing life-size kobolds. So my partner is allowing me to. We're going to be getting a life-size kobold. So when you guys tune in on the stream, you're going to see Gobbo here, there, and you will actually see sitting over here is going to be the kobolds. So I'll be, I don't know. I think we got the red one. I look at the blue one. Maybe I should have got the blue one. I like Christmas, so red and green. Anyways. So yeah, amazing, really good. Again, the artwork, the flavor of it, all of that sort of stuff. Looks like a little menacing mushrooms. Eslip Tarag is having some trouble in his cavernous underground mushroom farm. Recently, he and his family have had an increasing number of run-ins with hostile plant life on the southern side of his underground cave network. Again, that flavor, adventure hooks galore, but still leaving you enough room as a player. Rent an RV and set it up for streaming with a hotspot. Travel to con season. Yeah. I don't know if it'll happen next season. Like I said, the people that are behind this have actually made it to where I get to for the next 2 years. So it's the 2022, 2023, 2024. Where I, for the next 2 years, I'm going to be doing this full time, trying to raise awareness of cancer, running games, and all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be super amazing and awesome. Maybe after that 2-year stretch, who knows? Maybe things will be in such a way that we'll be able to do something like that. Go around the country, raising awareness of cancer, everything that we talk about on here, and gaming, and doing the con thing. That RV idea, it's really, that's a good idea, for sure. Yeah. So, and then they go into the walls, gates, and keeps. They end up talking about all of that, everything that you can get into, as far as all the different walls, the different gates, the Goblin Walk, the vents, all of that, all the different areas in here. Starlink satellite for internet. Yeah, for sure. So again, and then they go into the outskirts, the areas around Absalom, which, very important information if you didn't know. But for the con, for society play, I want to get a fresh guy going, narrowed it down to ranger, bard, cleric, or wizard, because I got Secrets of Magic last month. Good book. Very good book. I will be doing a flip through and review coming up and giving away a copy of that as well down the road. Very cool. Have you seen the Beadle and Grimm's Complete Chronicles books? They've actually got one for Cleric. They've got one for Wizard. They are gorgeous books. They actually contain the information for Society play in them, which that's amazeballs. Yeah, we're giving away all 5 of them over the next several weeks. By the way, I did the flip through review last night on stream of the Complete Druid Chronicles by them. We're going to be taking a look. Not this next week because I'm going to be working on this stuff and the Grand Bazaar review. The following week, I'll be doing the look through the Cleric book, the Complete Cleric Chronicle, and then we will be giving away that following Saturday. So I think it's the 12th. We're going to be giving away to one of you lucky gals or guys out there. Yeah, they're so cool. In the back of that Rogue book, look in the journals if you weren't aware of it. There's a flip movie back there. Really cool. But yeah, so tomorrow night, we're giving away the Druid book. If anybody out there didn't know that, we're giving away Beadle and Grimm's The Complete Druid Chronicles tomorrow night. And it ain't the copy that you see me opening. It will actually come to you shrink wrapped with the original shrink on it, unopened. And then on the week of the 12th, so it would probably be like the 8th or 9th, I'll be doing the flip through and review of the Cleric book. And then the 12th, I'll be giving the Cleric book out to one of you lucky followers or subscribers. So yeah, anyways, when it comes down to Absalom, the outskirts are just as important in a lot of ways as the city itself. And very, very cool stuff. And again, lots and lots of stuff that you can work on. It talks about the Cairn lands, and then it goes into talking about Westerhold and Shoreline, Copperwood, and the Dawnfoot, and the outlying small villages that are around Absalom. And that's where you end up learning like the Dawnfoot, which is got a heavy military presence. Incredible stuff. They basically cover the rest of the Starstone Isle, which is really neat. And again, they're giving you flavor art all over the place, little sidebars worth of information. But yeah, I just got the Rogue, Fighter, and Wizard books yesterday, and I opened up the Rogue and I watched, I think it was No Direction's most recent sit down with the GM for that for Beadle and Grimm's and the founders for Beadle and Grimm's. Well, Matthew Lillard wasn't there, but sat down with those guys, and one of the things they talked about was the Rogue book. And in that journal section, there's a flip movie back there where the Rogue kind of rappels up, picks a lock, goes to the door, fights an orc, dodges some traps, fights. It's really cool, really, really cool. Those books are so amazing. But it goes into like the outlying areas around and all of that, which again is great flavor. And like I've said so many times tonight, they give you more than enough to get yourself into trouble with, but they leave it open enough so that it facilitates you kind of taking and making Absalom your own city. So it's one of the things I like about it is I've been a tabletop RPG gamer since 1978. And wow, I'm old. Anyways, I've been to a lot of cons. I've played and ran a lot of different games, and I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't play as a player very often. I rather GM. But you can take 10 different GMs that all run Absalom, right? And every single one of them will be different. Each GM will put their own spin on things, but the core, the heart of that city, which is represented in this book and is what facilitates you spinning off your own thing, will still remain there, usually enough for if a player goes from one game to another game, the feeling is still there, the general gist of it. They can recognize certain familiar aspects to it. So Spider writes, this game has got me hooked, been playing for almost 2 years, and I really want that book since my book buying is on hiatus for now. Got Disney next month, then MegaCon in May. Wow, sounds like you got a full book it going there. Yeah, tune in on Wednesday. this book will be getting given away, and then like I said, down the road, I'll be looking through the Grand Bazaar book, which is the oh yeah. So then, Anchor, you are one of the oldies. Yeah, one of us old timers. Um, I'll be doing the look through this, and I'll be giving this away. So tune in on Wednesday for sure for a chance to win this bad boy. This book is amazing. I've actually got Beetle and Grimm's did the Lost Omens box set. It's like $350 for that super limited pre-order box set thing. My daughter's mom, my best friend, and my partner figured out a way, and they pre-ordered it for my birthday this year. So I actually have the Absalom box set coming, which, wow, I'm so excited to get my hands on that thing. So cool. I'm giddy. I'm so giddy. It reminds me about getting excited about the old box sets that were released in the 80s. One cool thing about that too is there's 4 adventures in there. That's the only place you can get those adventures as far as I know. I'm going to be running each one of those adventures for you guys, our viewers, as one-shots once we get them, and they'll be based in Absalom. So that's really cool. And I'm going to try, I'm not making any promises, but what I would really like to do, and I think it'd be great for the channel and a way to kind of get eyes on this channel. The reason why I want eyes on the channel is to further the message. That's it. And I think one of the great ways that I could possibly get eyes on this channel is if I can somehow get together the funds myself, or maybe I can get Beetle and Grimm's to be generous and give me a sealed shrink wrap copy that I can go ahead and do my box opening, open mine on stream, go ahead and show it off and all that stuff, and then to promote Beetle and Grimm's, bring out that box set and do a giveaway of that box set here on the channel. I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. I've got the complete Chronicle books that we'll be giving away, but I'm gonna try and do that because that would be super cool. I'd love to be able to do that for somebody. But again, working our way through, and then they get to the NPC glossary, and this is where again, I love it because they give you a ton of NPCs, each NPC getting their own little block of information, all the stuff that you need to run them, where they fit in the city, some of them how they interact, and all of that sort of stuff. It gives you, again, as we've become very familiar with the tag system that Paizo is employed for 2nd edition, which I personally really like. They do it again here. So Lady Adriel Nepretep of House Firelin is chaotic good female human inventor, level 16. So yeah, we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. I am one of those people that thinks that, hey, if you're gonna dream big, and you're gonna see that's true. I dream big. I love gaming. Tabletop RPGs. I'm not going to be overly dramatic, but it has, at many points when I was younger, it saved my life. It gave me some place to put my anger and my rage as a young punk ass kid, and kept me out of trouble, even though I managed to get in a fair amount of it. And I love tabletop RPGs, and I love the idea of using this hobby to promote cancer awareness and mental health issues and all of that sort of thing. But it also gives me the ability to reach out and touch you guys, our viewers, and give you guys product that you might not otherwise be aware of. I'm going to be doing reviews for other things like old school essentials from Necrotic Gnome. I'm going to be doing old school retro swords and wizardry from Frog God Games. I'll be doing flip throughs and openings and things like that of other systems. So it gives me the ability to maybe shine some light on some lesser known stuff and put product into your guys' hand. Trust me, I mean, I've got people behind me. A lot of this isn't coming out of my own pocket. I've got people behind me that are helping me with this, and I'm hoping that eventually we'll get enough recognition to get some really cool sponsors in here. I do have a really cool sponsor, Retrofix Games. That Cleric book will be given away with a set of Cleric dice. That is actually being supplied by Retrofix Games for you guys to get your hands on a copy for free. So I've got amazing people behind us, and that's kind of what we want to do, is a way to say thank you to you guys for even hanging out with us and watching what we do and all that, is to get product in you guys' hands. So yeah, the NPC glossary is exactly what you would come to expect. It has a ton of the movers and shakers. It has a bunch of NPCs, and you can read through this and probably mine out numerous story hooks, if not more than story hooks. And again, with the flavor art, the NPCs bring that across quite nicely. You have a 20th level cleric of Destiny and an Age of Ashes campaign on Saturday nights. So hey, let me ask you, what do you think of the Age of Ashes? Are you the GM, or is that your character? I don't do a whole lot of pre-made. I run pre-made like as far as settings, but I don't do a lot of pre-made adventures very often. And especially I've never done any of the APs. I actually own a bunch of AP stuff down here, like what is that one called? Abomination Vaults and Strength of Thousands. Those are two that I eventually maybe want to play the cleric. Sweet, cool. See, is it as rough as what I heard it was? I've heard so many people talk about Age of Ashes and how just brutal it was, because it wasn't it was the first of the adventure pass, so it was maybe not tuned correctly. No, that's right. Okay, I remember you mentioned that you're running Abomination Vaults. How's that going? You like that? I've got that one. That's one that I want to run eventually. Spider says, right now, though, thinking about spending society points to rebuild my rogue. He's level 6, but he was my very first build, and I think he's a little behind on damage. Cool. Again, I don't do a whole lot of society stuff. I've never done the organized play. If we can get out of this pandemic, I see that the CDC is lifting mask restrictions for 70% of the country. I'm kind of in a position that even with that, I still have to wear a mask. I wear a KN95 anytime I leave the house because my daughter is very susceptible right now. She's on her second booster, or second shot. She's going to get her third booster, and then for patients such as blood cancer patients, the country, there's a experimental shot that's being given because COVID is so deadly to people who survive things like blood cancers. They've only got 26 or 27. If you're out there, kiddo, and you can answer this for me, that'd be cool. They got 26. They were allotted 26 or 27 shots at the hospital here, and she's been shortlisted for one of those. So when all that's done, maybe I can, but right now I can't go out and play in public. But I'd love to get some society stuff done. I would love to take part in that as a GM. That'd be fun. I love meeting new players. I love seeing the excitement in people's face. I just love it. Gaming is so cool. It's such an awesome hobby. I mean, all my best friends. I mean, my partner I met because of gaming. Oh, I can understand it. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. People that have tight schedules where they're students or work or whatever have a hard time getting days off. They do a lot of the society stuff. Anchor says, this is the second cleric. The first PC was a cleric of Serenray, died a martyr in Module 3 in Kintargo. Yeah, Genie, as you know, I don't know if you know, but on our Saturday game, we have a cleric, a ward priest of Pharasma in our game. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Spider, I've heard a lot of people talk about society play in that regard. I did do some organized play for D&D 5e back when I was playing that with my last channel and all that, or prior to that at one of the local game shops. We were just beginning to launch a group here where we live in Montana, which was the Missoula Queer Gamers Alliance. And we had just started going to working with we have two game stores here. Town of only 75,000, but we're a college town, so we have two game stores, and we were working with them, and I was doing painting clinics and stuff like that. And I was just getting to the point as the pandemic hit of beginning to run games. Sorry, got gas. At a lot of these stores. And so I kind of would love to get back to doing that. But anyways, back to this. The NPC section, really good, really awesome. And you can see, like, we've got quite a ways to go. And we aren't even at the adventure toolbox, which is definitely something that I wanted to touch on tonight. I got a funny feeling I'm going to run maybe 15, 20 minutes past my 8 o'clock end. So if you can hang out with me, that's cool. If not, if you have to got things to do, I can understand that. But yeah, the NPC stuff in here is really good. A lot of adventure hooks, a lot of information. Some really cool stuff. And it brings about like just the overall feel again of that Crossroads feel, but you get representation from all over the the inner sea. So like here you have Lord Avid of House Arnson, human wizard. They'd been a family, had been a family once, a better family than a young Lord Avid had ever known. The sorcerer bred in blood, and it goes on to talk about him. I haven't looked at this enough to really know, but the feel I get from this guy with this sword, with this coat, is that maybe his family came from far up north, maybe the land of the Northern Kings, that sort of thing, or maybe even French kind of influence. Spider says, I got lucky right now. I get 2 Thursdays off a month, so I can go do the AP I'm doing now, which is Malavents. Cool. How you liking it? You liking that one? I've still got that one sitting over there too. I buy them. I'm kind of a collectionist or a completionist. I mine them for a lot of stuff. So yeah, the NPC section is exactly what you would expect to find. Tons and tons of NPCs, power players, people that and it's not all super high power players. Like here we have Delessa, who's Nutrigood female aristocrat level 2, got a level 6 here, but a lot of it of course is power players and movers and shakers, that whole Shadow War thing that they talk about in Absalom. So we are going to flip through here rather quickly, get down here to the adventure toolbox. Nice, nice. That's the haunted one, isn't it? Malavents? I believe so. That's very cool. Very, very, very cool. So yeah, NPCs. So wow, as you can see, look at this, man. Just page after page after page of NPCs. So tons of stuff, and I love it because still, like I said before, you can mine this for information and story hooks and use these NPCs in your game, but they're leaving you plenty of room to do your own thing. Nar Spirit Skin. Cool. Chaotic Neutral Male Minotaur Oracle 11. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. Very cool. We got our typical angsty goth. Same here. I'm enjoying running Abomination Vaults, mixing trouble with Atari with it, and brought Ron Lundine's GM's guide for it. Well, yeah, which adds some wandering encounters that are themed for the modules. Nice. I've heard of that. I haven't really seen the guide. Is that like available on like PDF form, like on RPG drive-thru or whatever? So again, yeah, again, like I said before, it's all the same tabbing and system that they do, and they've done all the way through 2nd edition. It's a fabulous book, amazingly well done, amazingly well done. Pathfinder Infinite for $5. Oh, sweet. Yeah, okay, I'll have to go check that out. I'll definitely have to go check that out. Yeah, see, one of the things we're waiting for, I've got a second campaign that we're going to be launching, hopefully end of March, beginning of April. We have a split. We have some people that want to do 5e. We have some other people that want to do Pathfinder. I'm kind of really into Pathfinder right now, so I'm kind of leaning that way, but I'll let the players decide what they want to run. One of the things I am waiting to see, though, is the fact that, let me switch this over, is I am waiting for the guys over here at Demi playing the Pathfinder Nexus there, like I've got all the source books that are available right now. I'm waiting for the character builder to come online, the character management, which from what I understand, end of March. Yeah, I am chomping at the bit. I love D&D Beyond. I love Adam Bradford. I actually, when he was still with D&D Beyond, I actually was running a campaign for a bunch of his employees, and I actually ran a one-shot one night for Adam Bradford, along with some other regulars, which was really, really cool. He's a great guy, and I really super trust him. I had a problem with the price points on the Lost Omen books, but I understand needing to make money. I trust Adam, I trust his team, so I went ahead and invested and got everything there as well as the Lost Omen stuff. But once I see what the character management is and what they're going to be doing as far as campaign stuff and that sort of thing, then I'll make a decision and we can do everything. Nice. Sweet. Nice. Yeah, when you start streaming, man, you can definitely hook us up. Let's get together and you know, I'll send people your way and vice versa and all that stuff. I'm one of the people that believes that if one person makes it in streaming, we all kind of make it. It just brings more eyes into it, I guess. So, but yeah, once I know what the character management is over here at Nexus, I'll go ahead and be able to figure out, you know, if we're gonna do Pathfinder 2E. And yes, I've got, man, I'm gonna be doing, I mean, obviously the main focus is on Pathfinder here, but we're gonna be doing some 5e stuff. I don't believe in edition wars. I don't believe in system wars. I just like tabletop RPGs altogether. So we're gonna be doing some 5e stuff. We're gonna be primarily focused on Pathfinder 2nd Edition. But we're gonna be doing 5e stuff. I got Cyberpunk Red that I just bought today. Mouse Guard, something I might be buying. Pathfinder or Starfinder. I just went out and bought Starfinder. I remember having the beta stuff, I think it was. Yeah, Pathfinder 2E is the bomb. So we're going to be doing some other things, but I would say 80% of the gaming on this channel will be Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So, yeah. So again, the NPC, it's huge. All the NPCs they give. So let's go find this toolbox. Oh, here we go. And there we go. Let's break this down this second. Yeah, I might actually be done on time tonight. That'd be amazing. That's good. So there you go. And then they break it down by, and again, attention to detail for me, the cost of this stuff, and the fact that I have to have it hardbound. I love the tactile feel, the smell of a real book, but I also love things like D&D Beyond and Pathfinder Nexus. So I also buy everything on there as well. So I'm doubly spending here. All of my books, I don't buy any of my books from Paizo, not because I don't like Paizo, but we have 2 game stores here, and I'll pay the extra money to support them. I get a kickback, I get a discount at one because I've been a customer so long, and Retrofix Games there does sponsor us, so they give us away a bunch of product, like the Complete Cleric Chronicles from Beetle and Grimm's that we're giving away here in a couple weeks. That was supplied by them. We did a giveaway that we're going to be sending out here on Monday of the dice bag, dice, and the APG. They provided that, and some other giveaways that we're going to be doing are provided by them. But I believe in supporting our local game shops, the small independent shops. One of the things I look for in game product is that attention to details. One of the things, or one of the reasons that I am so in love, with one of the reasons why I'm so in love with Beetle and Grimm's is the attention to detail. It's also one of the reasons I'm in love with the Lost Omens stuff and the Pathfinder 2nd Edition stuff that Paizo's doing, is because the attention to detail is so good. So they give you this huge glossary of NPCs. I mean, just pages. Let's find out, matter of fact, because we're still in it. Let's see how many pages this glossary actually runs. There we go. So we're looking at 389. We start, holy cow, over 100 pages of NPC in the book. Okay, amazing. And then at the end they do the spider. I just got into Starfinder late last year. It's fun, but boy, there's a lot to it and so many books. I want to tell you, it's the same way with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That's always been kind of a hallmark of Paizo, and I've always loved Paizo for it. Is there's some game companies out there that do limited amounts of product, and they're very tight with that product. Not tight as in they're really restrictive as far as how much product they put out, like 1 or 2 books a year. I might pick your brain about that there, Anchor. I might drop you a message if I can over on like Discord or something, because I'm thinking about running it, and I want to get some players' opinions, or some people that have played it and ran it and stuff like that. Their opinions of it, things to look for, shop talk. One of the things that I love, again, like I was saying, is the attention to detail. And for me, attention to detail a lot of times will mean whether I buy a product or I don't. Well, it's also been out there for a lot longer. Wait and see where Paizo is at with this game in about 8 years. It's going to be crazy. There's so much product coming, and I'm so excited for it. That attention to detail a lot of times means whether or not I'll buy a book. And this is one of the selling points in a book like this. They give you 100 and some pages of NPCs in the glossary, but then here they break it down by NPC type. So if you're a GM and you're writing or you're working on an adventure or a campaign or whatever, or your players kind of go off to the side and they say they're going to look for something, they break down all the NPCs that they gave you in the glossary by what they do. So ambassador, gamblers, merchants, villains. So all of those NPCs are broken down right here. So, and it tells you the level and all that stuff. The one thing I would have liked to have seen them do is I wish they would have So yeah, exactly. This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. NPCs by type. The following list, broken down by types of NPCs frequently encountered in an urban campaign, can help you find the right NPC at the right level at a glance. Remember that the levels, names, and details of the NPCs provided in this book are designed as launching pads for further inspiration. If it makes sense to change a specific detail to improve the events of your campaign, do not hesitate to do so. Super, super cool. So we have Yena Koros. I don't know if I'll be able to find her in here at all. But yeah, that is really cool. And that's exactly what I've been talking about. They give you, the way that they've done Lost Omens is they give you tons and tons of launching pads, places for you to jump off as a GM and make it and create it and make it your own and take ownership of it. That I super love. So this is one of those attention to details that I super, super, super like. And then we get into the Adventures Toolbox, which again, the flavor art in this thing, the art direction is so cool. We got Lamb, got here. I'm not wearing her. I'm wearing Harsh today. I've actually got her t-shirt. I'm gonna eventually have them all, I hope. I love it. See, Spider says, I'm excited for the Day of the Dead book, but I was told that book would not be society legal, which has a huge downer for me because I am pumped to play as a lich. I know the book. I'm waiting for it myself. We'll be buying that book, and I'm thinking since it comes out in March, I'm going to get that book, and maybe at the very first Wizard study in April, maybe I'll do a flip through and review of that book, and then that following campaign night, we'll give away a copy of that book to one of you lucky viewers. Yeah, I'm super excited by that book. Super, super excited. I love Undead. I love all that sort of stuff. I didn't know about the society thing, but then again, I don't do anything society related yet. So the Adventure Toolbox is really cool because it talks about the different weapons and drugs that you can find. Drugs are bad, kids. They do give you a heritage in here, the Azarketi. It's an uncommon heritage, or ancestry, but they do give us an ancestry. And like I said, a lot of people complained both about the Mwangi book, the Mwangi Expanse book, and this book, that it was so much fluff and flavor, but there was little crunch to it. It's a setting book. That's what it's supposed to do, give you flavor and all that. And there is some crunch in here. I mean, it gives you an ancestry, all of that. Gives you a bunch of new feats, all of that sort of stuff. And then it goes on to give you Asgardi NPCs, which is really cool. And then we get to the back of the book where, of course, Agents of Edgewatch, which ties in beautifully with Absalom. And then, but wait, there's more. Lost Omens, the Grand Bazaar. And we're through the book. The book sells for $54.99. For $54.99, yeah, definitely. The Lost Omens Society guide I love. The Ancestry guide I love. All right, let's cut it the way it is. I love them all. But yeah, Definitely. So for essentially 55 bucks, do I think it's worth it? You're getting 400 pages of well thought out, well written, well organized, well edited information, and a bazillion, yes, officially a bazillion of their Paizo launching pads, we'll call them, jumping off points for your creativity, for you to make Absalom, City of Lost Omens, either your own Absalom, or like I said at the beginning of this, if you don't play in Golarion, and that doesn't mean you can't go off and buy this. All right, you can still go buy this and put it into your world, change the name. You know, as long as you're not trying to resell it and copyright violations and that kind of thing, you can do whatever you want with it. I think it's absolutely worth it. As far as where I would put it, the ranking system I'm going to be using are wizard hats. So 10 wizard hats being unbelievable. One wizard hand being something I wouldn't touch. Absalom, City of Lost Omens. I know I've hyped it up a lot. I'm also pretty, yeah, definitely. I'm really hard on stuff, so you're not going to see a whole lot of 10s. 9s will be fairly rare. Let me put it this way. If you're looking for just the quality of this book and how good it is, 100% 8.5. Okay. If you're going to be running an Agents of Edgewatch, the AP, or if you're going to be doing your own homebrew Absalom centered campaign or adventures, or you're going to be playing in the inner city or the inner sea, if you're going to be playing and using Golarion, then I would easily, I have no problem giving this book 9 out of 10 wizard hats. Easily. The price point's right, the artwork's fabulous, the layout of the book's amazing, the information there is amazing, and like I said before, most importantly, they have given ample opportunity and leeway for your creativity to come through. They've given you tons of jumping off points to make Absalom yours. Tons and tons of flavor. I would definitely say it. And if you combine this book with this book, the Grand Bazaar, which is the big market, the massive market in the center of the coins district, you have everything you need to go anywhere near Absalom. I mean, there is so much information packed into these two books that I won't, like I said, 10s. I'm not going to review this one right yet. I will give, like, the Beetle and Grimm's books, the Druid book, I give it 9.5 out of 10. I love that book, but again, 10, you got to knock my socks off. These two books combined might get there, and I will give a quick review on Wednesday when I look at the Lost Omens Grand Bazaar book here, and I give it its wizard's hat, and then I'll bring this one back up. Yeah, Guns and Gears is a good book. Super, super good book. I'd say my favorite book so far out of 2E. Wow, that's hard to say. I think Guns and Gears is definitely up there. Secrets of Magic is definitely up there. Honestly, just for flavor, I'd say right now my favorite is probably a toss-up between the Mwangi Expanse and either the Pathfinder Society Guide or Ancestry Guide. I love that Mwangi by the Mwangi Guide. But then again, I'm a GM, so I'm not so much of a player. I've never actually sat at a table and played Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I've ran it. But on Wednesday, I will give, when I do this, I'll actually give a review and a rating of what I would consider these combined, because I think that if you're going to get this book, you should definitely have this book. And I think if you're going to get this book, you should definitely have this book. I think that obviously, since they're the same city, they work hand in hand beautifully. Excuse me. I got some coughing. So yeah, that being said, yeah, 8 out of 10. wizard hats if you are just looking at it for source material to mine, to do things like that out of. If you're in Galarian or you're planning on running an Absalom book, then this is 9. This might even creep up to a little higher than 9 point whatever. Wizard hats, fabulous book, amazing. So that is Absalom, City of Lost Omens for Pathfinder 2nd Edition from Paizo. I'm gonna get ready to take off here in a little bit, couple minutes, but I would like to bring up a couple more things just to remind people. Again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us here at Twisted Die Roller. We are a tabletop focused RPG channel with a mission. That mission is to raise awareness through tabletop RPGs and tabletop games of cancer awareness, the importance of early detection, and mental health issues, all of which are very important to me. If you look down on the panels below, you're going to hear and see about that sort of stuff. Look at our schedule, a little bit of what's coming up. Tomorrow night is episode 5 of 4 for the Road. Our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign, which is based in Galarian right now, they are in Andoran, kind of the northwestern area of Andoran, heading towards Absalom here shortly, unless they decide to not go that way, and then I guess I better think pretty quick. On Sunday night, I will be sitting down here every Sunday for 2 hours with my daughter, Michaela, and we are going to talk about her cancer fight, her cancer journey, this family's, and we're going to bring on other people who are both people who are currently fighting cancer and people who have beaten cancer, people who work in the healthcare industry or the healthcare sector, and all that sort of stuff, to try and shine as much light as we can and bring human faces to a disease that a lot of people shy away from because it is scary. It's possibly the most polarizing disease that's out there. So that's the reason why we're there. Again, if you get a chance and you're into gaming, go ahead and check out Retrofix Games. Their link is down below in the sponsors. That is one of our sponsors. They do provide us stuff. The giveaways from this past Saturday night were given to us by them. We are going to be giving away Beetle and Grimm's Complete Cleric Chronicle on the 12th, and that is being supplied by them with a very cool set of dice to go with it. That'll be supplied by them. So if you're looking for games, they ship, good prices. They're knowledgeable, amazing staff. If they don't have what you're looking for, give them a call. I am sure they can get it for you. And let them know that Twisted Die Roller Charles sent you from the stream, and that would be really, really cool. Again, if you dig this mat that you see that I have, this is done by one of Wizards of the Coast's cartographers, a gentleman by the name of Dyson Logos. Very talented. He has been gracious enough to let me use some of his maps to do some of our overlays. So he's down below. Check him out. Sirenscape is the stuff you're hearing. Every epic game needs epic sounds. Go check those guys out. And then again, next Wednesday on the Wizard Study, I intend to be painting up some minis using Games Workshop's contrast paints, doing a little speed painting. We're going to see how many minis I can get painted in a couple hours after I review this and after I give that away. So tune in on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll get to see me dig through the Grand Bazaar, and you will stand a chance, if you are a follower, of winning this guy right here. And not this particular one, because this one's mine, but you will stand a chance to win this one, which we went out and we picked up today. This is brand spanking new, maps in it and all that. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to do really, really quick. I just remembered, is the map that they provide. So if you gamed a while ago, okay, you remember when you bought things like Waterdeep in the North, for example, which was a small... I just lost... Give me a second. This has been going on. This is a flaw. Yes, the Waterdeep map set. This is something that's been going on lately because of the update that's recently happened to OBS. So give me a second to see if I can get this up and running again. There we go. Hey, we're back. Look at that. That's big too. Holy cow. There's the overlay. Yes, it covered the whole wall. That you're talking about the one that had like 10 books. Oh, that thing was great. That was so amazing. But back then, maps were a big part. That was one of the reasons, like, I remember being young and I'd run out and buy books just because of the maps. Well, this one actually has, it's really cool too because it's not a tear out map. It does have, let me see if I can get it off of here. It's a fixed with this kind of sticky tack stuff that doesn't leave any damage, leaves a little bit of, I wish there was a way that they could do these to where it wouldn't leave markings on the book. And you can see right here, okay, this is why I would not give this book a 10, for example, is because if this had a different way of doing this map in here that didn't leave a tear out mark and did not leave a stain, gum tacks, right? This does leave a bit of a stain on the book, and I'm sure it will on here. I'm not going to take it off. But it's far better than what they used to do. They used to be stapled in. They used to be, you had to perforate it, and the paper wasn't thick quality like this, so a lot of times you'd end up tearing maps and things like that. But you do get a very large, it's a poster size map, poster size map of the city of Absalom. See if we can get it in there. So that does come in the back of the book, and then they did release as well if you're interested in it. And this kind of harkens back to that Waterdeep map set that you're talking about. They did do the City of Lost Omens poster map folio. It doesn't have 10 maps, but it does have 4 poster size maps that all fit together. Massive. I've actually got the stitched together PDF version. Because when you buy books over on Pathfinder Nexus and you link your Paizo account, you get a free copy of the PDF. Think about that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So there is that. So you do get a poster size map that is really well done. This will eventually wind up on my wall. I am sure of that. But yeah, the map in here is really, really flippin' cool. So again, yeah, and see, I want to just put it in there. So again, tune in on Wednesday. Well, first off, tune in tomorrow night, 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Wow, got lost there on my own schedule. For episode 5 of 4 for the Road, where I will be giving away, not this copy. This is my own personal copy, because I'm sorry, I've wanted Beatles and Grimm stuff forever, and I now have it. But tomorrow night, there goes the camera. There it comes back. Thank you, OBS. Please fix the code. We'll be giving away a copy of this beautiful book. This is a 9.5 out of 10, right here. This is a 9.5 out of 10. Gorgeous book. We'll be giving away a copy of this book tomorrow night during our 5th episode of 4 for the Road. So tune in for that tomorrow night. You have to be a follower. However, this is open for international shipping. This one time, this book, we will ship it anywhere in the world. So that will be given away tomorrow night, Sunday night's Cancer Chat. Again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. This has been Twisted Die Roller. This has been the Wizard Study. Tomorrow is 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so 8:30 Eastern Time. Or 5:30 Pacific, depending on where you're at. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Appreciate it. All the content that's out there. You guys managed to come here and hang out with me, and that's absolutely amazing. I super appreciate it. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you guys later, and as always, peace and happy gaming.